Thursday, June 3rd. Happy June Pride Month. It has begun.
Happy Pride.
Ooh, yeah, we're getting ready to do Queer News tonight.
Oh, is that why we're here?
Yeah. I'm surrounded by a whole lot of drag queens. There are 4 of them around me tonight.
I resemble that.
Dale Stine is top of the list, and Tai Hauser.
You're the biggest queen of them
Yeah,
all.
I did have a drag persona for years.
Yeah, nobody's fool.
She hasn't met
Yeah,
her
no,
long.
Al.
Strawberry, yeah. She was one of the Neapolitan sisters.
Really?
Oh.
Funny. One of
was
the
a great-
Neapolitan sisters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's going to be a great show. Lots of
Good
news.
show.
Well, welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news. It's time to queer up the news. It's 8 p.m. Thursday, June 3rd, and we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show. Out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Well, thank you for joining, and Amanda's with us now.
Thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited, live, LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you'll see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by members like you. We are part of the Happening Out television network, Hotspots Magazine, and We Meg Events. Hotspots is celebrating 35 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and We Meg is bringing you Wilton Manor's Stonewall Pride Parade and Street Festival on June 19th. Merged, we bring you the best of LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our LGBTQ plus community.
Well, this evening we bring you the news of and a perspective representing the LGBTQ plus community from South Florida, America, and across our planet. I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, Al Ferguson. Let's welcome, as I was beginning to do, anchor Amanda Austin. She is a famous local drag queen here in South Florida and hostess who works at Lips and throughout the area. She is a food critic and a writer for Hotspots Magazine and is the creative force and chef behind the Lanai VIP dining experience. Good evening, Amanda.
Hi, Al. How are you?
Great.
You can catch me Friday nights at Lips hosting, so come and see me sometime. We're back in business, and it's very busy, so we're
Yeah,
happy
we're
to be
so happy Lips
happy to
is
be back.
reopened. Yeah.
Let's welcome anchor Dr. Tai Hauser. He's an associate professor of English and Humanities at Broward College. Additionally, he teaches for extended periods of time at international colleges in China, India, Spain, and Bolivia. Good evening, Tai.
Good evening, everyone. A special shout out and happy Pride to my Broward College family, students, friends, colleagues. Take a look at some of the upcoming events we have on campus this month. I think you'll enjoy it. Let's welcome anchor Jasmine Pryce Lords. She's known as the plus-size Barbie and the bearded beauty. She's been performing all around South Florida for over 10 years and is the new Florida mother of the iconic House of Lords, an idea conceived 26 years ago with the purpose to give Miami's LGBT community a place of belonging, and to this purpose, functioning as more than just a ballroom scene house. You can catch her as the newest host at Georgie's Alibi on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. I've been there. It's fun. Welcome, Jasmine, to It's Happening Out.
Welcome. Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Saturday nights, we do our show. It's a throwback to the 70s, 80s, and 90s, so come check us out. Let's welcome anchor Dale Stine. He was accepted into the world-famous Juilliard School, where he received his master's degree in opera and became a self-taught shutterbug. His photographs and images have been featured in innumerable magazine covers, featured spreads, CD record covers, and websites. Internationally acclaimed DJs, producers, drag personas, as well as politicos, business people, and entertainers are among his favorite clients. And in addition to his photography work, he is currently the director of music ministry at Unity on the Bay, the moderator of the popular Facebook group Miami Gay List. Welcome, Dale.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here, and thank you for the introduction. I'm not plugging much of anything tonight except Rainbow Pride, general, hoo-ha. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Thursday, June 3rd.
Well, let's begin by queering up business. Chick-fil-A's profits are being used to push anti-trans state laws and kill the Equality Act. Christian millionaires, including Dan Cathy and heir to the Chick-fil-A fortune, are behind one of the most sophisticated dark money operations ever seen to pass anti-LGBTQ legislation and stop the Equality Act. Chick-fil-A has been assuring customers for nearly a decade that it has stopped donating to anti-LGBTQ causes, only to be caught doing it so often time and again. Now the fast food chain's billionaire co-owner is using the company's profits to fund hate groups that are passing anti-transgender bills all over the country, and a campaign to stop the Equality Act from becoming law.
Well, is anybody surprised?
Not
They've been
at all.
doing it for so long, and I think the distinction between whether it's an individual contribution or a company contribution, it doesn't matter. If you've made money from the company and you're making the contribution, you're using that money for a bad purpose. Shame.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree. A lot of my friends and family know how strongly I oppose Chick-fil-A. The only time I eat there is when I was dating one of the managers and I was getting it for free. Other than that, I refuse to go into that building.
Free food
I mean,
across the
I was
line
affecting
for
their P&L in my own little way.
Now, I know at one point in time, Al might have done a taste test where he
I did.
has to, I'm trying to out you now.
Yes, we did a taste test of the Chick-fil-A sandwich, and when Popeyes launched their sandwich, and I'm regrettably all of the hosts, they had no idea, and regrettably Chick-fil-A won the taste test.
Well, in this month of June, I am proud to say I have never set foot in the place, nor have I driven by it for any purpose. My family is, on the other hand, goes there regularly. I don't think they get it.
You know, to be honest with you, I don't care. I don't care what Chick-fil-A is doing. It just helps us recognize that that is our adversary to LGBTQ rights. I don't care about their chicken sandwiches. I don't care about the restaurants. But I do care about the truth. I wish Chick-fil-A would just say, look, we don't support your lifestyle, we don't support the LGBTQ community, and we're not going to muddy the waters up by suggesting that we're not trying to do it and then get caught red-handed in the dark money that they're doing, especially against the trans community that we're seeing all over the South. It's hypocritical, and that's what makes Chick-fil-A not so desirable.
I think people should only eat there on Sundays.
That's a funny joke. I love that joke. All right, Amanda, let's move on to some education.
Next, let's queer up education. Meet the drag queen who served face and snatched a diploma. At her college graduation, Jacob Dockery just wanted to make his classmates laugh. On May 27th, the 25-year-old dressed in his drag alter ego, Ruth Canal, while graduating from Temple University's Kornberg School of Dentistry in Philadelphia. In a video of the ceremony posted to TikTok, Dockery accepts his lavender sash and a full face of makeup before cheekily posing for a photo with the school's dean, lips puckered for the cheering audience. The brief 10-second clip went viral, racking up over 1.5 million views on the platform in a matter of days.
You know, I didn't realize the color was lavender for dental school. It's got to be gay, right?
I had no idea that was the color.
Yeah.
Does it corrugate with the hanky code anyway?
Right. I'm curious, of course, you can see in this shot right in front of me, I'm flanked to the left and my right. What did you think about having somebody in full face accept their college diploma? Were you proud of that? Did it
I think it's exciting. I mean, more and more we see that the world is turning around, especially our country. You know, we have some places that, work is still needing to be done. But I've gone to work. I work corporate Monday through Friday. I'm a store manager for Starbucks, and I've gone to work in full drag and, not knowing what was going to happen, and been completely embraced by the customers, employees, staff. So, I mean, I think it's super exciting to see on this kind of platform that,
Did
it
you
was
just
used.
tell us that Starbucks is slightly different than Chick-fil-A?
I mean, majorly.
Oh, congratulations. I love seeing the full face.
That's great. Now let's queer up entertainment. Queer game Tell Me Why is free on Xbox and streamed for Pride Month. Tell Me Why is free for Pride Month. Publishing company Don't Nod announced. The queer episodic adventure game can be downloaded on either Xbox or Stream and will be permanently in your library. Don't Nod wrote, quote, "We've received heartfelt messages from players all over the world about how Tyler's homecoming as a trans man and Allison's struggle with trauma have impacted them, encouraged them, or made them feel a little less alone, especially amid the ongoing global COVID-19 pandemic and pervasive transphobic rhetoric in places like the United States and the United Kingdom," end quote. Don't Nod also encouraged fans to support games by queer and trans creators across the board.
What do you
Watch
think?
this.
I need to know. They say twins are connected.
They finish each other's sentences,
Read each other's minds.
feel each other's pain.
And sometimes, they even relive each other's worst memories.
This is wrong. This is all wrong. Mom? You sure you want to go in there?
Writing down my thoughts helped me realize who I am. When I finally made sense of a few things, I don't know how I never saw it coming.
But what good does it do to ask the question now?
She was never gonna let me be anything but her little girl.
I know you want there to be something to find. Something that'll make it all make sense.
I need to know.
Is it me or does that seem more like a movie?
It does, doesn't
So
it?
crazy. The graphics are beautiful.
Graphics are beautiful, and the plot line kind of interweaves and I think is really sophisticated.
Yes.
It almost makes me want to get an Xbox. I mean, I don't have
Are you
one,
a gamer? Do
No,
you-
I'm not. I think that's a generational probably thing. You know, I'm a little older maybe, and
A little? Ooh, that was shade. All right.
that was shade. Okay, Jungle Red. That's a reference for you. If you know that reference, then you are definitely of an age.
Right.
No, but it's very intriguing. It's just so beautifully done. I mean, that particular segment we just saw.
You know, we've done many gaming stories at Queer News Tonight and on It's Happening Out. And one of the things I always come back to first is how popular gaming is. Gaming economically is greater than movies or television. It is a much larger entertainment platform in the United States and worldwide, and that always surprises me because I guess from a generational standpoint, I don't participate in it, and so therefore I don't think it's important until it's put right in front of me how important it is.
Did it become especially important with like millennial age? Is that the timing of it? I think.
I'm not
perhaps?
sure to that question of where it became, but it's the juggernaut of America and the world in entertainment. The other thing, I have to get a plug in as I was watching this. I mean, a very powerful story in gaming. I mean, come on, we're talking about gaming and this storyline. Happening Out Television Network is doing a new show called Translation, and it's a talk show all with trans hosts. Monday nights at 9 p.m. and I encourage you to tune in because trans for the LGBTQ community is being used as the wedge issue in politics. We see it in our states. We see it from our governor in Florida. They are being harmed in wholesale fashion. And so you should tune in to Translation Monday nights at 8. Very, very important. And representation matters. And so a game like this is saying we need to turn the tide of how our LGBTQ plus community, but specifically the T in our community, is being treated. And in a wholesale fashion, among radical Republicans and evangelicals, they're treated horribly. Right. And so that's what's really nice about what I just watched.
I mean, especially, for my age group, gaming is more considered to be a butch straight boy type thing. So to see this game to be so inclusive and be opening and showing this, clearly there's a market for it, somebody out there wants it, and it's beautiful, like you said, that it's being inclusive and it's giving that voice, and it's visible to them. I think it's wonderful. Okay, so let's queer up gay culture. Ex-gay activists lobby Congress in pathetic attempt to kill LGBTQ civil rights bill. A small group of men and women who have declared themselves ex-gay or once gay lobbied Congress at the start of Pride Month in opposition to landmark LGBTQ non-discrimination legislation. The group also opposes efforts to make conversion therapy illegal. The psychologically damaging pseudoscientific technique claims to change people from gay to straight. The formers, who are associated with the organizations Church United and the organizations Changed, say that they're the real oppressed minority here. But instead of advancing their interests, they argued against the interest of LGBTQ people.
This is the problem with the way we've created this kind of binary existence in society. Yeah. It's either this or that, this or that. Yeah. What you need to do, people, is embrace who you are. Yeah. And okay, so you're not gay and you thought you were. Yeah. Embrace that. Yeah. That's part of who you are today.
And probably the top reason why radical Republicans and evangelicals are foaming at the mouth over trans, because it's not binary in the choice, and therefore they can't accept it.
And it doesn't fit in a box. I mean, it's so amazing that that entire world, the right-wing evangelical world, is so intent on us being labeled, and labeled negatively. It's really just appalling.
Yeah, and sad too. You have to have empathy for their ignorance, even. There has to be some empathy of understanding. Obviously, we don't agree, but there's empathy for their ignorance. One of the things that's really sad, I think, in this reporting, the Equality Act likely is not going to pass. And sad, but it's the world that we're living in this 50-50 Senate. And the situation of the Equality Act, the vast majority of Americans want the Equality Act. In the upper 70 percentile of all Americans want the Equality Act to be in place. Among religious people, Protestants, Catholics, Jews, a very significant majority in the 60 and 70% support the Equality Act. Even those that identify as evangelical, polls show that they're in the upper 50% support the Equality Act and the LGBTQ community. What this shows for those that are gay and that they don't speak out for the community is a self-hatred. And they're holding on to this self-hate. And the self-hate is coming from organizations like the Log Cabin Republicans, who did not embrace Donald Trump in 2016, but turned around and embraced him in 2020, to the hashtag walkaways and Brandon Strzok, who you debated in the national debate, and the top of the list of the self-haters in our community, Richard Grinnell. And until we can overcome and accept that we are LGBT, we can't expect them to support our issues and simple things like the passage of the Equality Act, which already most Americans accept and embrace.
Crazy.
Wow, the power of the closet. Now, next, let's queer up gay culture. Safe Haven, Gay Life in the 1950s, Cherry Grove. The New York Historical Society presents Safe Haven, Gay Life in 1950s, Cherry Grove, an intimate look at one of the first gay beach towns in the United States. The outdoor exhibition explores mid-20th century gay life on Fire Island's remote hamlet of Cherry Grove, located on the Barrier Island south of Long Island, through some 70 enlarged photographs and additional ephemera from the holdings of the Cherry Grove Archives collection, which works to collect and archive the community's rich and colorful history. At Cherry Grove, gay men and women could socialize out in the open, whether on the beach or on the decks of Grove houses.
Well, we're showing some of those pictures from Cherry Grove, and I'm going to be tied to the point. Dale and I did not hang out at Cherry Grove.
Are we going to see photos of you there?
I'm beating y'all to the punch of those jokes. I'm
You win
standing
this
up
round.
for you. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sad to say that I've never been to Fire Island.
Oh, it's fantastic.
it's
Haven't
It's
either.
amazing.
Going this year though for the first time.
It's really it's like this
It's like
paradise.
going to church almost.
You just walk down those walkways, the boardwalks,
History.
and you really feel transported.
Yeah. You know what's
Transported.
interesting about that? Because I echo instantly, maybe Dale and I are relaying the stereotype of trying not to tell the joke about Cherry Grove, but every major LGBTQ icon has walked the streets of Cherry Grove.
Except for me.
Artists, writers, Broadway musicians, actors, performers. I mean, Cherry Grove is it. I just recently, over the last weekend, watched the Halston series a second time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Good.
and
So
it's
good.
even better the second time because you can watch so much nuance. Halston wrote extensively about his experiences in Cherry Grove, and I won't spoiler alert, but if you saw some of the scenes that he did in the Halston Netflix series, that was going on in Cherry Grove. You'll figure out what I'm talking about when you watch it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. That pauses me because I'm thinking about Halston and Cherry Grove.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was it.
Reminiscent.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. All right. Well, now we queer up politics. Republicans joined Marjorie Taylor Greene in backing a bill that would ban the important issue of the day, rainbow flags. On the first day of Pride Month, June 1, on the first day of Pride Month, Republican members of Congress signed onto a bill that will ban rainbow flags at embassies. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia and her boyfriend, Matt Gaetz of Florida, are two of the bill's most vociferous, ferocious, there's lots of others, supporters. Republican Representative Louis Gohmert of Texas, Rick Crawford of Arkansas, and Brian Mast of Florida all signed on as co-sponsors of the, quote, Only Old Glory Act, end quote, introduced by Representative Jeff Duncan of South Carolina. The Republican effort is in response to embassies that flew the Black Lives Matter and Pride flags in previous years. And the law is going to prevent it if passed.
I'd like to support a bill that bans her horse face from Congress.
I would like to propose the Only Old Glory Holes Act.
Yeah. But
Going back to Cherry Grove, I guess.
that would be in between Cherry Grove and the Pines.
Okay.
The area.
That's right.
No,
That's right.
Yeah.
We didn't give the Pines their due.
Can you give me a little description of where I should go?
So we need to book our flight because apparently we're going to be the ones missing out.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, the vileness is just, it's palpable, that's for sure. And I don't understand, is it just, I feel like, I don't even know if she really believes, I mean, how could she really believe all that crap that she says?
Yeah. Or her district, her voters in her district. That's
It's interesting. I was seeing that a lot of people, there was a news story where they were interviewing people from her district, and none of them are saying they're voting for her again.
yeah.
Right.
So
Let's hope that that's the situation. You know, Maya Angelou famously said, when somebody tells you what they think about you, believe them the first time. There's not a chance in the world that this is going to pass. Not a chance in the world. First off, Biden would veto it. So there's not a chance in the world. They could not get a 2/3 override of his veto. They couldn't get it passed in the House. It's impossible to get it passed in the Senate because the same thing that we're suffering from on the Equality Act would happen here in reverse. You could never get 60 senators to sign on to this law. So why are they doing it? It is completely for naught, and they know that. So Maya Angelou pops into my head and I go, when they tell you what they think about you, believe them. Because that's what she and her boyfriend, Gaetz, is telling us. Remember that at the ballot.
the new Beavis and Butthead. Let's queer up Road to Stonewall. Here's your Pride 2021 gift guide. It's our favorite time of year, Pride Month. And with this worldwide celebration of LGBTQ community comes the explosion of rainbow merchandise from companies all over the world. So many brands are honoring the community, spreading awareness and putting their money where their mouth is this June. So we've put together a gift guide of just a few of our favorite companies participating. Brands like Bark Pride Toys, A Tribe Called Queer, Shake Shack, Coach, Riot Games, and the Pride Candle Company all have special offerings for this month.
Oh my God, the urge to buy everything on the Coach website is so strong.
Child, the bearded beauty would
my
be
God.
talking about Coach.
Well,
right?
So beyond me being a fashion aficionado or somebody who loves all that stuff, they have in their campaign other drag queens, they have trans women, they have trans men who are wearing these pride outfits. It's not just models, it is actually people who are in our community who we know, who are legendary, who've been out for a very long time. So they're doing the work, they're talking the talk, and they're giving a platform. Once again, visibility matters. It is not just stock photos. And that I 100% support.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
And I remember back in the days when Absolute was the only company, 20, 25 years ago that you could get to sponsor anything.
Right.
And now there's people upset because all these companies are sponsoring Pride and using Pride logos and, Pride colors. I think it's wonderful.
That's one of my favorite memes that's going around at the moment. Instead of giving your money to one of these corporations that only likes you during
Half
Pride,
that Jasmine Pryce
like,
Lords.
you can send it to an actual gay.
Right. But I know it's something we've discussed before, and it has pros and cons. But in general, I'm more for the more the merrier. I mean, at least they're willing to jump on the bandwagon. So I think it's, a positive thing.
And not to throw shade at a circle of my closest friends, but overwhelmingly in my
No one hear them.
circle, yes, you said that, of my closest circle of friends, they're pro all of the capitalism that we're seeing in these Pride collections in the month of June. They don't like it. And I'm a minority opinion in my circle saying, no, it's great. A couple of notes and reasons why. First, tonight alone, we show that Chick-fil-A is in dark money, secretly against us. They're dishonest in saying what they think about the LGBTQ community and trying to pass anti-trans LGBTQ laws, and in southern states especially, but very radically conservative states, and against the Equality Act. Would you rather a Chick-fil-A or any of these companies? And if you had a choice, which would you embrace? Well, of course, that's why we're happy for what they're doing, even if it's for a short period of time compared to a Chick-fil-A. And second, the thing that I constantly point out to my circle of friends that are critical about this is we have to recognize the history of progress. Because 10 years ago, this was impossible. Dale and I would say in 1990, let's go pre-Absolute. We recognize Absolute 20 years ago. Let's go 10 years earlier in the height of AIDS. There's no possible way that any of these brands would embrace. They wouldn't touch it.
Literally, figuratively.
Even
Both.
in believing in equality, they wouldn't do it. So let's celebrate the progress that we're making and how representation matters, as opposed to getting caught up in lesser important issues, I think.
Next, let's queer up South Florida. World's first Progress Pride public bus debuts in Palm Beach County. In honor of LGBTQ plus Pride Month, PalmTran, the public transit system serving Palm Beach County, has rolled out its Ride with Pride bus. Throughout the month of June, the Ride with Pride bus will operate daily along PalmTran's Route 1. With close to 200 stops, Route 1 is PalmTran's longest and most visible route, running from Palm Beach Gardens to Boca Raton. While buses decorated in the colors of the iconic rainbow flag have operated around the world for more than a dozen years, PalmTran and Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority's Ride with Pride buses are the world's first public buses to be fully wrapped with the 11 colors of the Progress Pride flag.
What do you think?
I love how much more we're seeing the new flag, the Progress Pride flag. Like I know every drag queen in America right now, I see a new costume made with the new colors on it. I know I'm one of them, and it's busy right now to get stuff made, but I digress. But I just love how much we're seeing that diversity being embraced. How many people are just like jumping on the bandwagon for that and continuing to support it and uplift that. I'm so here for it.
It's interesting how it was pretty controversial when it was first released. And I remember there was a lot of back and forth about it, but it is wonderful to see how much more it is embraced right now. And I think there's been a shift in that.
I think when we change anything that has been so iconic and historical as the rainbow flag, there's going to be that pushback to any kind of initial change. But as important as it was when it was created and how it had all its meaning, we're just updating. It wasn't changing. We're not taking away. We're just trying to continue to have that conversation
Evolving.
and open up.
There's still a lot of pushback. Just this week, I've been in 3 or 4 different conversations about it. Just because it is Pride and people are seeing the different flags flying.
And they don't like, pushback on the progressive
Yes,
flag is
yes,
what you're saying.
yes.
Not
Still,
this bus.
still people not
Still, people are
not embracing it.
That's
They're not embracing
internally
it.
in our community.
That's within our community, yeah.
One of the things I have to say about this bus, which is interesting, of course, I'm going to go to the politics. First off, congratulations to them. This could have been some obscure route in Palm Beach County. It isn't. It's their most popular route, their #1 longest route. So they said, wait, if we're going to do this, we're going to show it to everybody. Great for the mass transit in Palm Beach County. Second, let us not forget that this bus will run every single day for 30 days within 3 miles of Mar-a-Lago. Now, it's on the other side of the intercoastal, but he knows it's running up and down and up and down. And just last night, we reported on Michael Cohen's comments that Trump really secretly is disgusted by the LGBTQ community. Who cares first? And I love the Pride bus running near Mar-a-Lago.
Hallelujah.
And then the third thing that I wanted to say, this is the way we defeat hate in America. Not in overt push in the face, but the less passive, or the more passive rather, embracement of thousands and thousands and thousands of people riding this bus and seeing this bus and going, LGBTQ and the rainbow flag that the crazies want to ban at U.S. embassies around the world, what's the big deal?
Right.
And
It's pretty.
And that's how we defeat our enemies. Right. Maya Angelou comes right back into my head. Congratulations, Palm Beach. You've made us proud.
That's our queer news headlines for today. So let's catch up on the LGBTQ plus news surrounding COVID-19 with our special segment called Quarantine Quickies.
Queer News Tonight has been LGBTQ plus America's most important news source for the pandemic, as we have reported on coronavirus on every news broadcast since January 6th, 2020.
Tonight, we report the devastating effect coronavirus has had on the American and worldwide LGBTQ plus community in total cases and deaths.
But we also provide hope of a new light at the end of this very long tunnel. As of tonight, more than 2,390,000 LGBTQ plus Americans have contracted COVID-19.
We have watched the greatest single-year LGBTQ plus health crisis of our lifetimes. More than 42,000 LGBTQ plus Americans have died from coronavirus.
But the news is improving because as of today, more than 296 million vaccination doses have been administered in the United States.
That is our COVID-19 news for tonight. Next, we report that Happening Out Television Network is passionate about our support for the LGBTQ plus community.
An example is Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine in supporting that partnership.
The network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious broadcast in the world, with more than 30,000 watching every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's totally live.
We encourage you to tune in. Our campaign of sponsorship proudly supports Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Watch this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Howard Grossman. I'm the medical director for Midway Specialty Care in Wilton Manors, and I'm the medical advisor for Queer News Tonight. And Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Finally, we thank Queer News Tonight's hotel sponsor, Best Western I-95 Fort Lauderdale. This is the closest and best choice to the famous Wilton Drive, and our hosts and guests stay at this LGBTQ ally partner. We encourage you to stay here when visiting South Florida.
That's today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing. Ring the bell for updates, share this news with your friends and family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you are a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserves the attention of your family and friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television news in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Amanda Austin, Dr. Tai Hauser, I'm so glad I got that right, Jasmine Pryce Lords, and Dale Stine. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. Good night.